Well, Christmas means good food, presents, but also catching up with the rellies. We saw how difficult that last bit can be in the movie National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, where Clark has finally managed to get the Christmas lights on his house to work, and he's sharing the moment with his in-laws. Check it out.
Dear Francis, I hope this adds to your enjoyment of the holidays.
Oh, it's just wonderful.
Arthur. Art. Dad. Thanks for being here.
The little lights are not twinkling.
I know, Art, and thanks for noticing.
Oh, so how do you keep them merry in your Christmas, no matter whose family you're spending it with? Well, let's ask psychotherapist and counsellor Melissa Ferrari. Hello, nice to see you. I'll tell you what, Christmas can be a very tricky time, can't it? And people can get very anxious spending Christmas with the relatives. So how do you safeguard yourself against that?
Well, what's important to remember is that we actually, as a human species, we like to be in pairs. And so anything that involves other people is always going to be problematic because we're wired to be kind of tethered to another. And so when we walk into environments where there's a whole lot of other people and there's family who are being shaped psychologically different to you, you're always going to run into problems. And this is why people get quite anxious at Christmas time.
A lot of people think it's every man for himself. But, you know, in terms of the in-laws, how do you glean the support of your partner who could be between a rock and a hard place?
Well, what's important is that when you are in a couple is to remember you're in a new family now and that you've left your old family behind. Now, of course, both have to be acknowledged and respected, but what's important is that if there are any problems, that you stay with your partner and back them. If there's something to do with mum or dad or there's been an argument in the past, it's really important to protect your couple, you two together, what we call a couple bubble, and kind of protect each other from the outside.
So husband doesn't go off to the lounge room and sit there drinking beer. They're making sure that they're protecting you from the barbs of said mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is fabulous. I adore her, so I'm very lucky in this situation.
You're very lucky.
How do you the trip to the event, when you're driving to where it's all going to be, how do you emotionally prepare? What do you work out signals, hand signals, keywords? If I start waving my hands violently across the room,
a bit of this,
a bit of
They are probably a little bit obvious, you know. A little nudge or a touch on the elbow is probably better. But it is good when you're travelling to wherever you're going. Have a little chat, you know. Remember that my mum or Auntie Flo occasionally might make a mention about something, and you might even say, you know, well, they better not say anything about me putting on a few kilos this year or something like that. So what's important to remember is I'll have your back. If something like that's happened, you and I will go and get a drink or do something to kind of diffuse the situation.
If you know you're walking into that sort of environment and you know that old racist Uncle Neville is going to say something inappropriate, do you just, is it water off a duck's back for this one day of the year, or do you go, right, I've got to call him on this? How do you play that?
I think diplomacy at that time of the year is a whole lot better. Just you know, you can maybe take it up with him later, but I think on Christmas Day, the idea is to be respectful of everybody. Let's all get through this and do this successfully and come out of it feeling all nice and safe and secure and that nothing bad happened.
If it is too hard, is it okay to pull the pin and do a runner?
I think you can, but if you do it quietly, if you just say to your partner, you know, I kind of have this thing with my partner where I just go, babe, which means time to go. Yeah. That's our pet name, and that's what we do.
Could you use like a code word?
Yes.
Yeah, food poisoning.
Yeah, something that looks kind of sweet or cute and nobody really notices, because I think really you do have to protect yourself around this stuff, because sometimes it can be an avalanche coming towards you, so you've really got to back each other on it.
So it should be quieter than just me in the car out the front blowing the horn.
Yeah, no, that's right, Peter. That would be very obvious. I wouldn't advise that at all.
Let's recap some of your main points. You have to acknowledge there's an issue, right? So if you're going into this, you should make sure that your partner is being heard, and so are you. Support your partner. Don't leave them by themselves. The dishes can wait. Don't leave your partner alone. have signals and cues for your partner. A friend of mine would use pomegranate to get out and would keep going pomegranate, loves pomegranate.
Say something like Uncle Neville is a racist pomegranate.
But her husband was just like, you just kept going on about the pomegranate. I don't know what you were talking about.
No.
And have a code red getaway plan.
Yeah.
Melissa Ferrari, it's nice to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Have a great weekend. Bye.